You feel him pulling away, all right? He used to text you back fast, and now it's hours. He used to make plans, but now he's busy. He says he's tired, distracted, he's figuring things out. But you know what this is, right? And the mistake most women make in that situation is they try harder. They become more understanding. They act like it doesn't hurt. They go into what I call cool girl mode. And that right there, that's how you lose yourself. You don't even need to be in love with someone for this to feel devastating. There's something about the pulling away, the withdrawal, the vagueness, the silence that activates something ancient in you. And you might tell yourself you're being silly or you're overthinking it. You might tell yourself it's not a big deal. Because when you care about someone and they start treating you like you're optional, it creates this gap between your hope and your reality. And what fills that gap? Panic, confusion, 100 tiny adjustments that you start making to stay likable. You smile more, you ask for less, you try to look more attractive, you sound more relaxed, you say, no worries, even when you're worrying all the time. Okay, so a long time ago, I was dating this guy, and I liked him a lot, and it was pretty new, but it felt mutual. And I don't know, we were seeing each other a couple times a week, and I was starting to feel kind of hopeful. And then he started pulling back, and I felt it immediately. I was very attuned to that. He wasn't reaching out. He wasn't responding to my messages half the time. There was less warmth coming my way. There was no talk about when we'd see each other again. And I didn't want to be one of those girls, who expects a guy to get too serious too fast. So I went into performance mode. I smiled all the time. I made excuses for him. I stopped bringing up how I felt. I thought that I was being chill, and I thought that's what makes men like you. But I wasn't chill, not at all. And I thought that's what makes men like you. But I wasn't chill. I was pretending to be chill. I thought that's what men want. And they do want that when they're not that into you, right? But they want to keep you around a little longer. They love it when you pretend to be chill. So I felt abandoned. So what did I do? I abandoned myself. And by the time I realized how far I drifted from my own standards, I couldn't even look at myself clearly. I wasn't heartbroken over him. I was heartbroken that I sold myself out just to avoid being left. I just want to be blunt. When someone starts pulling away and you feel that fear of losing them, your old attachment wound is going to say to you, don't say anything. Just be easy to love. And that fear, it'll whisper things like, do not rock the boat. Do not scare him off. Just give him some space. He'll come back. But here's the reality. That's not intuition. It's not wisdom. It's survival mode. It's just your fear like running your whole nervous system. And survival mode, even though it helped you in childhood, it is not helping you now. It's turning you into the cool girl, the one who's totally fine, just going with the flow. But that woman, she doesn't get the relationship she wants. She gets stuck waiting. She gets breadcrumbed. She starts to think that love means never speaking up, that the obstacle to love is her own humanity. Isn't that true? Like, if I could just not be me, he would like me. And if someone you're dating is pulling away, there are 4 powerful things you can do. So, you might want to take notes on this. Number 1, drop the cool girl act. It is not cool. Don't pretend it is. Being agreeable is not the same thing as being attractive. It's not even the same as being, easy to get along with. Letting someone slowly disappear without naming it isn't low pressure or chill. It's a setup for resentment. Okay? You can be calm. You can be kind, but don't abandon your needs to seem like you're chill. You're not here to manage someone else's comfort at the cost of your own clarity, of your own integrity. And if this has been a habit for you, it's very possible that trauma from childhood is what's driving that. You can change that, but it starts with knowing the signs that early trauma is totally got control of your romantic life now. And if you want to see a list of those signs, I've got a free download that you can access in the top link of the description section below this video. Now, you might be surprised how trauma can drive a lot of self-sabotaging behaviors that you never realized had to do with trauma in the past. So when you feel somebody you're into pulling away, what can you do? All right. Second thing, ask for clarity. Ask once. You're allowed to say, hey, I noticed that things feel a little different. Are you still interested in this? It's not being dramatic. You don't have to say it in an accusatory way. You can say it directly. And you're not doing it to get a specific answer. You're doing it so you can see what's real. And when you get your answer, even if it's vague or evasive, believe it. And then don't ask again. Don't wait for them to explain. If you can't get a straight yes, then it's a no. All right, number 3. Don't get into trying to explain your worth. If you're crafting long messages, explaining how much you care, or listing all the great things about you, or trying to remind him of the connection, stop. You don't need to sell yourself or your value. You don't need to rehearse your resume. You don't need to show how flexible or evolved you are, or how understanding. You don't need to show how flexible or evolved and emotionally intelligent you are. People either want to be with you or they don't. And if they don't, your value is still intact. You just stop handing it to people who can't hold it. All right, number 4, set a silent deadline. You don't need to issue ultimatums, but you do need boundaries. You can say to yourself, if I still feel confused and uncertain in a week, I will stop reaching out. Now, this isn't punishment. This is a return to reality, because nothing grows in limbo and nothing heals when you're frozen in hope. You deserve to know where you stand. And if someone can't give you that, then standing still becomes, a kind of self-harm, really. And if you've been in this pattern more than once, people pulling away and you shrinking down so they'll stay, it's worth looking at what that's really about. Because for many of us, this isn't the first time someone we loved went cold. We learned early that attention could be unpredictable, that love sometimes only comes in bursts. And we got good at sensing the slightest little shift in tone, the late reply, the hug that was a little bit cool, the missed call. And our response? Make ourselves easier, make ourselves smaller, try not to need too much. This isn't just relationship strategy. This is a whole emotional survival system built on one belief. If I'm good enough, they won't leave. And this is a trauma-driven belief that can lead you to attach to all the wrong people. I teach people how they can change that pattern in my course about dating for people with childhood PTSD. And if you want to check out that course, I'll put a link to that in the second row of the description section below this video for you. But that belief will keep you walking on eggshells your whole life. It'll have you twisting yourself in knots for people who were never planning to show up in the first place. They did not really care enough to do that. That's not love. When you hold on to that, that's fear. And you don't live there anymore. So here's what I want you to know. The person who wants to be close to you, they don't need you to earn it. They don't need you to make yourself palatable to them. They don't need you to be silent about your needs. They just need you to be you. Just open, clear, grounded, yourself. And if they pull away, don't chase. You don't need to chase. You don't have to fight for crumbs. You watch what they do and believe it. Think about it. If you had done that all your life, just like not chasing, but just like watch, and if people pull away, just see what happens, how differently things could have turned out. I tend to think like there are some people who would have come back, but the chasing made it so they couldn't, right? There are a lot of people who would just go, and you could have saved a lot of time and energy and your own dignity by just letting it happen and waiting and sitting still and just knowing that nothing less than somebody being generous with love would do for you. Don't even dream of spending all that precious love that you have to give on someone who doesn't want to be with you. You don't have to explain yourself to someone who's slipping away. You don't have to keep texting someone who already made up their mind. You don't have to stay in the fog of uncertainty just because you once had chemistry. When someone starts pulling away, the clearest, strongest thing that you can do is come closer to yourself. You know what's true. You know what connection feels like when it's real. And you know when someone's energy has left the room, even if they're still sitting there. So trust yourself. Speak once, decide quietly, and walk forward. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. So an emotionally unavailable person, usually that would be somebody who you're in a relationship with, and they try to be in the relationship, but they can't love you or they can't be present for you. But this is somebody who's just flat out unavailable.